Okay, so I used to know this girl named Christina, Christina Borriello, who I'd gone to middle school and high school with. And we really had nothing to do with each other in middle school and high school. We really didn't speak. But after high school, when I became friends with Rachel, Christina was Rachel's best friend. So unfortunately, we were forced to hang out together all the time and basically coexist and get along. We became a constant threesome. Always, three of us were always together. And I guess we just kind of got used to it and got the fuck over it. But she was like this kind of ugly, dykey looking girl, kind of looked like a man. No matter how much makeup or whatever she wore, she still looked manly. You couldn't fix it. And, people always made fun of her. She heard all the dyke jokes, all the man jokes you could ever think up. She heard them all her whole life. And, I mean, this girl and her family was something else, though. They lived in this house, right? I wouldn't even call it a house. It was more like an eyesore. This fucking yellow, ugly ass eyesore. It sat on the corner of Otsego Avenue in Seneca and Dix Hills, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. And since it was right on a corner on a main street, you couldn't avoid driving by the thing. You had to look at it. Obviously, their neighbors had to look at it every day. And I am sure their neighbors fantasized for years about burning that motherfucker to the ground. Like, my pleasure. And there's like 20 people in her extended family, like, living in this piece of shit. And they were all like white trash, like a Long Island version of rednecks, right? And this place was like illegally subdivided into like 8 different apartments. She had like her aunt and uncle living in one, her grandpa living in another, cousins living in another apartment. And how you fit that many fucking people into one house? Somehow they did it. And Christina has this, her stepfather, right? Was this guy named Kenny, who's actually the uncle of my best friend when I was in middle school, James Reichert. And I didn't really know Kenny very well. I almost never even spoke to the guy. So I couldn't really judge him either way. I didn't have a problem with him. A few times I was around him. He seemed okay to me. Christina hated this guy. I mean, she hated this guy, Kenny, more than life itself. Why, I'll never totally understand, but she just despised, like, everything about him, right? And I never realized how much until the day that me, her, and Rachel are chilling over her house, and Rachel opens up Christina's fridge, and there's some beer in the fridge. And now Rachel wants to drink a beer. So she goes and offers Christina one, to get her one. She goes, hey, Christina, you want a beer? Budweiser.
Fuck no! Fucking hate Budweiser.
Why? Why do you hate Budweiser?
'Cause it's Kenny's favorite beer. Fucking hate that guy.
It's like, wow, you hate that guy so much, you hate his fucking beer. That's some serious hatred. Oh, God, I remember this other time. We're driving in the car, and I click on my iPod, and I put on the song Piano Man, the Billy Joel. And the song starts playing, and Christina starts freaking out, right?
Oh my God, turn that off. Turn that fucking shit off.
I said, why? What's wrong with Piano Man? It's a great song.
It's Kenny's favorite song. I hate Kenny. It's his favorite song. Turn it off.
Like, Jesus, you can't drink his beer or listen to his music. God damn, you hate Kenny. Wow. And Christina had this grandpa, right? Oh, man. And her grandpa was one of the weirdest guys I've ever met in my life, right? He was Greek, this old fucking Greek guy, George Pakamisas. And he was about the biggest fucking alcoholic drunk I've ever met. Oh my God. I knew this guy for like 5 years. I don't think I ever saw him sober. Every time we went over to his apartment, the guy was fucking trashed, right? And he spoke in this like thick ass Greek accent, and he never called me by my name. He called me Weedo. I don't know if he was trying to say weirdo or what the fuck he was talking about, but he was always Weedo, right?
Weedo! Hey, Weedo! How you doing, Weedo? You want a drink, Weedo?
Even though we're all underage, he was always trying to give us alcohol and get us drunk.
Come on, drink, Weedo!
It's like, no, Grandpa, I gotta drive. No, I'm good. And I mean, this guy was just. And they belonged to this beach club over in Atlantic Beach called the Sunny Atlantic Beach Club for years, forever. And literally, this guy got so many free T-shirts from this beach club. Sunny Atlantic Beach Club shirts. It's the only shirt he ever fucking wore. Every single day. Sunny Atlantic Beach Club. I asked Christina, like, did your grandpa ever wear any other shirt? She's like,
No. It's all he fucking wears.
wow. And grandpa had this little dog, right? Like terrier or something. I mean, it was a Chihuahua. But his name was Buddy, right? And I told you I had to drive by Christina's house all the time. And I cannot count how many times I drove past the house and this stupid little dog would just dart out into the street in front of my car, almost on cue. And I almost ran that motherfucker over. This was like a constant thing. Slamming on my brakes. And even though I knew the dog was coming, so I slowed down, he'd still startle me and I'd still have to slam on the brakes. So finally, one day, I asked Christina, why does Buddy always run away from the house every time I drive past? And she goes,
'Cause my grandpa fucks him.
what? You think your grandpa fucks the dog?
Yeah, I know he fucks that dog. I'm sure he does. Fucking run. That's why he's running away. I was like,
Okay. Right. And a side note, apparently my impersonation of Grandpa was so good that me and Ashley, Rachel's sister, me and Ashley were friends. We had nothing to do one night at like 3 o'clock in the morning, so we decided to prank call this girl Angela she used to go out with, to fuck with her. And Grandpa had recently died like a few months earlier, like fucking going to hell, right? And Angela's all groggy because we woke her up. She was sleeping. And I started impersonating Grandpa. I said, hello?
Weedo! Hey, Weedo!
And then Angela starts immediately just freaking the fuck out, right? You imagine you hear that shit at like 3 in the morning right after someone dies? Oh my god. Who is this?
It's me, Weedo!
Oh my god, seriously? Oh my god, who is this? Oh my god. Like I thought the girl was gonna have, she's like 17 or 18. I thought she was gonna have a fucking heart attack. Her just dropped dead over the phone. And I guess my impression was that fucking good. Oh man. His family was fucking something else. And then you combine that with, I said James Riker, right? My friend. That was Kenny's brother, was James's father, James's uncle. And Grandpa hated Kenny too. I guess everybody did. And one night, Grandpa gets piss ass drunk and he's really, really mad at Kenny for something. He's like enraged. And he picks up a baseball bat or whatever, walks over to Kenny's Jeep, which is in front of the house, and starts smashing out the fucking windows with the bat. Like every window in the Jeep, he's just breaking it out. And they had to come outside, wrestle the bat out of this guy's hands, and bring him in the house. And then they went and moved the Jeep like a half a block away. And Grandpa, this guy's like 85 years old. He's still got the energy to get the baseball bat again, walk down the block, and start smashing up the Jeep some more. I mean, this motherfucker just doesn't quit. So finally, they had to take the Jeep and move it to James's house and hide it there for the night. Grandpa couldn't find it. But yeah, this shit is insane. Bro. I mean, the type of people I've known, you just can't make some of this shit up, and you can't make these people up. But yeah, this is the story of Christina and the great Borriello and Reichert family. What a fucking family. Wow.